Hi everyone, welcome to MAT162. My name is Dr. Matt Selba. You all can just call me Matt throughout the semester. It's really nice to meet you all, and I'm looking forward to our first class this upcoming Tuesday. I wanted to create a video just to show you the course, give you some background information on what the course will look like this semester, and then help you kind of navigate, where to find things and what's needed in the course. So if you take a look at our course page, you want to take a look at the welcome announcement. As a reminder, we meet on Tuesdays from 6 to 7:50, and then we meet in our support class from 8 to 8:50. We'll be meeting in room E411, which is the East Building at the Wilmington George campus. So definitely take some time to look over the course before that first one. There's a lot of different resources to take a look at. First thing we want to talk about is the textbook. The textbook is a workbook in which you would be able to write in. So you have two options for the textbook. I always recommend students get it. It's definitely worth it because everything's very organized for you and you're able to write in it. However, if you are a person who likes to type your notes, there is a digital version, so just kind of keep that in mind. What I want to make sure that you know is you do not need to purchase the support textbook. That's for the support class. We don't really use a lot of the pages in that, so if you've already purchased that before you write in it, do not write in it. The MAT062 support co-requisite support activity student pages book, do not purchase that. However, this one, even though it says required on our course page, you actually have the option to type your notes if you'd like to do that instead. And I'll show you where to find the digital files, which are also accessible in our course. Again, if you're a person who does better with writing your notes out and kind of getting your thoughts out on paper, I would definitely recommend buying it. But again, I'll leave that up to you. Again, I put a note here in case you don't want to purchase the MAT 162 textbook, which is a workbook. You can print out the in-class activities that we'll cover each week. Just make sure you have regular access to a printer, or if you are someone who likes to type your notes, make sure you are able to download files easily. You're able to save files easily. If you have trouble saving files and finding them, I would probably just go with the regular textbook that workbook that you can write your notes in. Okay, so again, you can find that at the bookstore on campus. Okay, for some of you, this may be your first course at Del Tech. I definitely recommend obtaining your student ID before arriving on campus for the first time. So go and visit the main campus, and there's information in this link on how to do so. One important thing for this course is we're going to use a lot of Microsoft products, so Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. So you want to make sure that you have that downloaded and installed to your computer. There's a video hyperlinked here on how to do so. You can also visit the computer lab. It's on the west wing or the west building at the Wilmington George campus, and they can help you do so if you have trouble with technology. They can kind of get you set up with doing that. Okay. If you're an Apple or Mac user, this is really important for some of our assignments this semester. You want to make sure you go to your Safari app and your settings and make sure you unselect prevent cross-site tracking. You won't be able to do some of the assignments unless you change that setting. Again, that's specifically for those who have a Mac product. Week 1 to 2 assignments. I will typically post an announcement at the beginning of each week with the upcoming times, assignments, and due dates. So you'll see them below. I took a few hours to hyperlink everything for the course so that in my announcements you can find exactly where you need to go. So definitely use the hyperlinks as you need to. You can also kind of scroll through the course and kind of click through the modules, but these hyperlinks are hopefully definitely very helpful to you. Okay. So again, we'll be meeting on Tuesday from 6 to 7:50, and then from 8 to 8:50 for the support class. And we'll be covering the honors pledge in-class activities 1A through 1C, and we're going to introduce our first project, the Project Zero checkpoint, the project and data collection plan. Definitely reach out to me if you need help for additional help throughout the semester. I'm available for up to a half hour before class, during our class break time, or during the support class, or even Thursday evenings. I set aside some time on Zoom. We can meet. Usually, I set up student meetings for about 20 minutes or so for us to meet. If you need to meet via Zoom, definitely just request a meeting, and I'll send you the link with the meeting time confirmed. Okay. For the assignments for this week, we actually have a pretty packed first couple of weeks. So in week 1, we just had the honors pledge, which we'll do in class, and then the Project Zero checkpoint. Kind of a quick turnaround time. We have class on Tuesday, and then by Thursday you have your checkpoint. We will work on some of that in class, but the checkpoint submission for our first project will be due this Thursday. Most of our assignments are due Tuesday at 2. I make that the due date just because it's easy to remember. And instead of having it assigned, to be due Sunday night at midnight, it gives you kind of an extra day and a half or so to get your assignments done if you need the time. Okay, before we meet for class. So here we have several preview assignments, which are activities that you complete before a in-class activity or before what we call an ed puzzle. We have ed puzzle videos, which are kind of like your virtual guided notes that if we were to have a full in-person class, we would have covered these topics. However, because it's a hybrid class, these are assignments that you complete on your own, and they're videos that you watch while you take notes. And then practice assignments are what occur after the in-class activities as well as the ed puzzle videos. They are completed after you've learned the material, and they kind of assess whether or not you know the material that was learned. Okay, and again, we have preview assignments for the following week as well that are due to get ready for the next set of lessons. Okay. The Project Zero final submission, again, projects will typically have a checkpoint and a final submission. We'll talk more about that in class. That's due next Thursday. I'll send out a recommended work schedule each night of our class so that you guys can kind of say, okay, here's what I need to do each day to kind of keep on track, just to kind of keep you organized. So I'll do that throughout the semester. Okay. There's some information about myself. Biggest thing with me is I'm a full-time high school math teacher at the Charter School of Wilmington. So this Del Tech work that I do is my part-time job. I really enjoy working at Del Tech. This is my third year or so working there. And I've taught MAT162-40 several times. So I do really enjoy the course, and I'm looking forward to working with you all. And it's a course that you can definitely apply to your life and to the job that you want to go into. Statistics is really all around you, and I really hope to help you see that throughout the semester. Okay, contact, you can email me. Like I said, I don't have student hours, but if we need to meet briefly, Thursday evenings tend to work best. Email tends to work best for communication, and I try to get back to you within 1 to 2 days. Okay. On the top right-hand side, you have our calendar of events. Here you have some helpful links. We're going to use a lot of statistical applets, so this is a link to get there. You have your Desmos calculator. You don't need to purchase a calculator for the course. Desmos calculator will be sufficient for that. You have your weekly timeline schedule, which is really helpful. Everything that I go over in the announcements, if you wanted to look ahead as like what assignments are coming up, everything that I just went over in the announcement is right here. But let's say you wanted to see what's going on in week 4, you could kind of look ahead and kind of see what's there. Okay. I also hyperlinked everything here. It took me a long time, so that hopefully that helps you as you're kind of working through the course this semester. Okay. And then lastly is this in-class links sorted by week. You click on that, we're going to use a lot of different applets throughout the semester, and I basically hyperlink them here so that you don't have to like type in a really long URL code. We'll talk more about that in class, on Tuesday. Okay. Lastly, there's a lot of math help, free tutoring offered at Del Tech, so I want to make sure you're aware of that. The easiest way, you have the Math Center in virtual support. You also have free tutoring offered in the same hallway that our class is in. So we have class in room E411. There's actually a tutoring room that's open on most weekdays at Del Tech, in which you could get help with those previews, those practice assignments that I was talking about earlier. Okay. I'll talk more about like what those assignments are. I just wanted to really kind of give you the rundown of our course page to start. Okay. All right, so clicking on content, this is where you're going to see most of the modules for the course. I'll start with the start here module. So here you just have my information, like I showed you on the first page, so nothing really new there. Going back to the start here hub, you have the syllabus, you have the course orientation video, which you're watching right now, the course policies and expectations. So it just gives you a welcome message to the course. Communication, email tends to be best. Definitely reach out to me if there's any issues. Definitely communicate effectively with me, and I'll do the same with you. And like I said, Thursdays, if we need to meet briefly, I have student hours then. Course materials, like we said, textbook is the workbook that you can purchase, or you can choose to print pages or type them digitally. The calculator, like I said, we'll just be using the Desmos calculator. The homework platform you don't need to purchase. It's just integrated as part of the course. You pay for that when you register for the course, so it's not something that you need to purchase separately. It's already included in the course itself. And then Office 365, that's what I showed you that hyperlink to a video before on how to install that to your computer. If you don't have it already, definitely do so before our first class. Okay. Late work. Generally, you're supposed to be completing your work on time. Prepares you for class. It helps you practice as we learn it. We do understand life happens, so as we're working through the semester, there are opportunities to submit things late if something happens in your life. I get that. Okay. There is a 15% late penalty for the preview and practice assignments, and there are cutoff dates in which you can actually submit them late with that 15% penalty. Afterwards, the assignments are not accepted at all. So just make sure you're aware of that. You know, the first cutoff date isn't until February 23rd. Hopefully, none of us are really close to having to submit assignments that late. But just so you know, that's part of the system here. Okay. Good idea to review the instructions. Oftentimes, there's a rubric for the project, so you want to make sure you review that before you submit to make sure everything's where you want it to be for the grade that you want to earn. Okay. As far as the project assignments go, generally, you know, you're not really able to submit them late unless you have a conference with me. So late project or assessments are only taken after a conference with me, so we can develop a plan to get you back on track. Generally, the project checkpoints should be submitted on time. There's a 1 week window where I'll accept it late with a penalty. After that, I won't accept the project checkpoints. Meanwhile, the project final drafts, again, they close after a week as well, but I can open those back up if we have a conference. So again, it's all about communication. If you're going to submit something late, something happens, you need to talk to me so that we can come up with a plan for you. Okay. I always try to update my grade book weekly. I try to return your assignments back within a week for sure so that you get some prompt feedback. Attendance is so important. Oftentimes, this course, people start off strong with attendance, and about halfway through, when content's getting hard or life's getting hard, I get about half the class missing. So please try to attend every single class. Contact me if you need to miss so that I can tell you what to do or what you need to make up. Okay. Overview of the assignments. 60% of your grade is the projects. 5% is those preview assignments that you complete before class. 15% are the practice assignments that you complete after class or after watching the Ed Puzzle videos. And then 20% of your grade are the formative activities, which for my sections, that's typically the Ed Puzzle video grade that we'll go over later. Okay. This is just some more information about the types of assignments that you see. So we talked about projects. For projects, you'll be given an opportunity to submit a checkpoint. I give you feedback. You make edits on that feedback that I gave you, and then you submit a final draft. So we'll kind of work through that through the semester. We talked about previewing and practice assignments before. Preview assignments are modules that you complete on D2L that prepare you for a lesson. Practice assignments are what you complete after the lesson or after the Ed Puzzle video that you watch that kind of assess you for the skills that you learned. Okay. And then generally activities, most of your activity grade will be the Ed Puzzle grade, like I said. Okay. Some pro tips for this course. Make sure you're checking your D2L and DTCC email daily, attend scheduled classes, reach out to me via email, attend my student hours if you need them, and then utilize the tutoring center on campus or the virtual math tutoring center. I'll send out a PDF within the first couple weeks on where to find the tutoring center, and I'll show you where it is on campus once we have our first class. Okay. Cool. So that's the course expectations and policies. Go back to the Start Here hub. All right, evaluation measures. So like I said before, 60% of your grade comes from the projects, 5% from preview assignments, 15% from practice assignments, and then 20% from formative activities, which are the Ed puzzles. The good news for you all is there's no test or closed note quizzes. So typically the summative assessments would be a test. Now for this course, it's a project. So it's more project-based learning happening in this course. All right, back to the Start Here hub. Last up is that learning cycle. So just to review, right? We typically, before we meet for class or before you watch an Ed Puzzle video, you complete a preview assignment. During class, we take guided notes, or during an Ed Puzzle video, you take guided notes. After the in-class activity or after the Ed Puzzle video, you're going to complete a practice assignment that practices the questions that we covered within that lesson. And then this all leads to not exams, but for this course, projects. So we're going to work on project checkpoints, get feedback, and then you submit a final draft of the project. Again, there's just a review of those assignments below. Okay, back to the Start Here tab. Okay, so that's the learning cycle. Here's the tutoring services like I talked about. So if you click on this link, it actually gives you the times. So you could come to the virtual tutoring center by accessing this link. It gives you the hours here. in-person tutoring. So it's Monday to Thursday from 10 to 6. And that is located in the Wilmington East building. And there's a specific room. If you click this link, or you can ask me during class, I can show you where it's at. It's in the same hallway that our class is in on Tuesday. Okay. So those are very helpful for you as you have trouble throughout the semester with completing assignments. They can definitely help you. Cool. All right. So that's the started here tab. We already went over most of the course information. Yep. Now, like I said, you can also find the semester schedule that was hyperlinked on the homepage here. So if you click on that, that'll take you to that schedule that's outlined by date with all the hyperlinks in there. So that's very helpful in case you need to look ahead if you know you're going to be absent or something like that. Okay, going back on the left-hand side, so we already did semester schedule. Key terms as you're working through the course, maybe on a project assignment and you want some help with some vocabulary words that you have trouble remembering what they mean. This is a good kind of dictionary for the course to help you out with that. And same thing with statistical symbols as well. We're going to see symbols like Greek letters like mu and sigma. This is a good document to kind of keep everything in one place if you're like confused on what a mathematical symbol represents. Technology resources, there are specific applets that we'll use. If you need a review of how to use them, you can access them here. Or if you need help with like a specific preview or practice assignment or project, and you want a review of how to use an online software applet, basically these videos kind of help review that for you. Accessing Edpuzzle. We'll actually do this in class together. If you want to do it ahead of time, awesome. So this is Edpuzzle where you can watch instructional videos online. Typically, this is a course that would meet twice per week, but we're only meeting once per week because it's a hybrid course. So on that other night, you're expected to complete these Edpuzzle videos in which you watch videos and you take notes and respond to some question prompts. So to get started, here's how you can do so. You're going to click on this link. It'll take you to edpuzzle.com. Select I'm a student, sign up with Edpuzzle, and enter in our class code. When you enter in that class code, you'll see a playlist of videos. That playlist of videos will be the Edpuzzle videos that you're responsible for this semester. You'll know what videos you need to complete each week because I'll send it to you in an announcement. And then if you ever need to log in, you can just go to edpuzzle.com or click on this log in to edpuzzle.com link that I have in the course. Okay, so that's Edpuzzle. We'll do that on Tuesday night, but if you wanted to try to do it ahead of time, that would be awesome. Technology, access Edpuzzles. Course projects, we'll go over course projects. Our first course project will be Project 0, the project and data collection plan. I'll go over the directions in class for that on Tuesday, so we'll just hold off on sharing that information. I want to show you what one of the preview and practice assignments tend to look like, and the first one won't occur until 1C. So if you click on 1C, you'll see an assignment that says 1C preview. The first time you click on this, it might ask you to, enroll in Lumen OHM or just to kind of confirm that you want to begin the assignment. And you really have to do that one time. But from then on out, you should be able to start the assignment right away. My teacher view is a little bit different from yours, but generally this is what the assignments look like. They tend to be multiple choice, fill in the blank, drag and drop, or type in answers that you're completing, and then you hit submit. So these are preview assignments that you complete before a lesson. Notice how you have 99 tries on the questions. If you get it wrong, you can attempt it again. So that's good. For the practice assignments, they tend to occur at the end of each lesson. So if I'm in Unit 1, Lesson 1, if I go to the end of Lesson 1, which would be 1D for this one, I'll see the practice assignment show up. Again, I hyperlink all of this for you in our weekly announcements, so you don't have to like go finding it like I'm doing it right now. But you could always kind of scroll through the course if you need to. Now, keep in mind for these ones, you actually only get 5 tries on each question, so you want to like make sure you're really confident in an answer. Maybe if you're on your third or fourth attempt, so that you're able to get the question correct. And again, these are all graded on accuracy, but you can ask questions during class or via email or come in for help or the tutoring center for free help if you need help with these preview and practice assignments. Okay, so that's where you find the preview and practice assignments if you're kind of scrolling through the course. All right, there's the rest of the content's listed here. If you wanted to find all of the assignments in one location, you could actually click on this tab at the bottom left that says homework, like for Unit 1 homework. It'll list out all of the preview and practice assignments that you have to do. Again, I hyperlink those for you anyway within our course schedule, but they're there as well for you if you need them. Okay. Cool. A couple other places to look at: activities, assignments. This is where you're going to be submitting your projects. Your projects will typically have a due date and then an end date in which you won't be able to access it anymore unless you have a conference with me. For the final submissions, that's where you would be able to submit it later, and I could open it back up if you have a conference. So again, you want to make sure you submit your assignments on time, as they do have due dates, right? And there are several project submissions throughout the semester that we'll talk about. Checklists we don't use, discussions we don't use. Quizzes, this is where you're going to complete the honors pledge. It's really just a one-question quiz saying I will not cheat throughout the semester. I will not use AI inappropriately. So again, we'll go over that on Tuesday. Okay, nothing else really here. If you want to check your grades, again, I update them every like Friday or Saturday. So if you click on grades, you can see what you're missing, what your grade is for the course. So definitely use that throughout the semester so you're aware of your progress. Okay. Besides that, I think I covered a lot. So thank you for paying attention for the entire video. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all in class on Tuesday. With that, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, bye.